The camera is quite far away, so I'm going to try and not lower my voice, raise my voice a little bit so you can hear me. If you can't, well then this video is just a complete waste of time. This video doesn't really need an introduction. You know exactly what we're doing. We're talking about all the books I read in March, and we're also going to throw in my April TBR. Spoiler, I haven't read loads of books in the last couple months because I've not been very well. That's not the point. That's why I'm combining the two. I'm going to go over the books that I read, and we're going to talk about the books I want to read, and this pile right here is a combination of the two of them. I also have a book coming in the post next week, which I will be doing a video about. So yeah, we're going to talk about books. So this is the lovely pile right here. I have at the very top a few books that I would like to get to in April this month, and here I have some physical, well, I didn't actually read this, that's also part of next month.
So this pile is basically a fraud, really.
But I have gone through these and I love these, and I have read I've listened to a lot of audiobooks I want to talk about. I don't have many physical bookshops near me. I have a few, but I don't get to go into town that often. When I do, it's great because I can buy books, but I don't buy loads. I just try and be mindful of how I'm spending my money, and audiobooks are great. They're really great. I know you've heard me talk about this loads. I read Watermelon by Marian. This book I'd say is a 4-star. I really loved it, and as my first romance I thought it was a great introduction to that genre. I am going to buy more of Marian books because they're really light-hearted, and this was so easy to get through. It was just all in all a great experience. This book, Flawed by Cecilia Ahern, this has really surprised me. I'm halfway through this. I'm on page 187, it's like a 400-page book. And so far this is turning out really good. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it might even be a 5-star, which is mind-blowing, crazy, but we'll see. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Now I'm going to talk about the audiobooks I read. I read Assistant to the Villain. That was really entertaining. It took me a little while to get into the pace of things because I felt like the main character was a tad immature, but I kind of guess that's the point. I think I may have said that in a previous video. So the sun is reflecting on my phone and he's seeing the, oh dear.
Oh, it's so clever.
Maybe stop doing that. I'm going to try and carry on. So yeah, I read Assistant to the Villain. That is probably, it's close to a 4 stars, but it's not. I really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, it's a good book, and if you want to get out of a reading slump, then you should definitely read it. It was just very different. I'm not used to reading that kind of book, but I enjoyed it, so I'd say it's probably like a 3.9 stars. I also read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and you know, that's 5 stars. That book was amazing, and it's opened up a whole new line of books for me to read, and I can't wait to order the series. I am going to do that soon, I promise you, and there will be reading vlogs on the ACOTAR series and more Sarah J. Maas books. I love her writing. I think I can also learn a lot from her. So yeah, that was 5 stars. Like I said, I don't really care for the sex scenes. It's just not my cup of tea, but in saying that, what really did it for me was the language that Sarah J. Maas used throughout the entire book. It was so poetic and beautiful, and that woman knows how to put an image in your head, which is, it's a real talent, I'll tell you that. And the world building was really well paced to the point where you didn't feel overwhelmed by what was happening and learning new things. It just felt natural, and that's what I loved about her writing. It was natural, enticing, engaging, exciting, all of the things you want from an author and from a book. It was just fantastic. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that. I also read Legends and Lattes. I think I'm probably going to get a physical copy of that book because I did really enjoy it. That's probably a 4 stars because it was just such an easy read. But once I got halfway through the book, I was a little bit like, yeah, this is getting old now. I kind of want something a bit more engaging in this. But if you're like stressed out and you just want a book that you know is going to be comfortable and you're not going to be stressed when you read it, then you should absolutely read Legends and Lattes. I don't know if I'm going to read any more of Travis Baldri's work, but you know, never say never, so I am open to it, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get in another reading slump and I'll go back to his books. Let's hope not, but it could happen. Yeah, I've already spoken a little bit about Flawed. I am hoping to finish that next month. Well, I definitely think I should finish it because once I picked up that book and I like dedicated like an hour to getting into that book, it was so easy to keep turning the pages, and also the chapters are really short. And I am learning that as a reader, that's very beneficial, so that's great. And I've also got here a few books I want to get to next month. Well, this month. We're talking in...
I don't know what tense anyway.
I want to read Babel by R.F. Kuang. I've heard amazing things. The pictures, to start with, is amazingly detailed. What am I, like a child? Look at the pictures, it's so nice.
Yeah, so...
This looks really good, and I do want to read The Poppy War as well, the trilogy. That's on my list. Won't be reading that this month, but I am going to try and read this month. I also got sent by a good friend of mine on Twitter his book A Path of Pain and Ruin by Joel Glover, and I think this looks really good. It's only not even like 100 pages, so it should be like a really quick read, but the cover is really cool and it's soft touch as well, so when it arrived I was like, ooh, that's nice, and it's formatted really nice and clear, so I am actually looking forward to getting into this. I'm going to read his blurb because I'm all for promoting indie authors. It says, in the wastes beyond the last city all is quiet. Everyone has heard of the 100 Blessed, of the final war between the Empire of Blue and Green and the Empire of Red and Ivory, of what they did. But the war is never over. You can't outrun your past. You can't hide from what you've done, no matter how hard you might try. All you can do is... I can't read. All you can do is...
Not read, apparently.
All you can do is walk the path God has set out for you and try to shut out the screams and the sound of bones breaking beneath your feet. So yeah, sounds really cool. No complaints, very much looking forward to reading. I also have here, a while ago when I first got into reading, one of my favourite pastimes is to go on eBay and to look at book bundles that are like £5 for a giant stack of books, and I am very much the kind of person that really enjoys just picking up a book I've never seen before and reading it. So what I did on eBay was I searched science fiction book bundle, and a load of books came up by the author C.J. Cherryh. They're really old little books, and I've read 3 of her books by now. The first one I read was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Oh gosh, I'll insert the cover of it for you to read it if you want to. It was just a very different world, and that's what I enjoyed. I like not reading the same thing over and over and over again. I do with some stuff because obviously I love science fiction and fantasy. There's only so much you can recreate. But yeah, I really liked what she's done. One of her books I rated like 2 stars because it seemed to be all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can try and get through this. Yeah, sun's quite bright. I'm going to see if I can try and get through this It's quite small text, and it's also like a almost 500-page book, so we will see. And of course we've got this big book, the Bourne trilogy, and I would like to start reading the Bourne Identity, the first book. My husband said that he really loves the story, so he thinks I will really like it, and I am excited to dive into it. I love big books. That is my March wrap up. Oh dear, what is happening with the lighting? Hopefully it's still in focus. I'm just gonna run with it. That is my March wrap up and my April TBR. I hope you liked this. I know it was like a short and sweet video, but I did want to get into the hang of doing these regularly because I know a lot of people love them, and I love them too, watching my favourite booktubers tell me about what they've read recently, what they want to read. Yeah. Am I gonna actually read these books in April? Who can say, who can say? Audiobooks are my best friend right now, yeah. So thank you very much for watching this. As always, I love you very, very much. You should be a typical YouTuber and say what you're supposed to say. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe and come back to my channel. I would love to see you stick around. Give it a thumbs up, this video, if you enjoyed it and you want to see more. And keep your eyes peeled for the second week in April because a very exciting video is coming then. Okay, I love you lots. Bye bye.